Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero Chapter 89. And I'm sorry if this review is in any way late, like much later than normal, guys. It's just I think I think it's just one of those things where the whole with everything that's going on in the world right now, and the whole like the thing of being of the whole self isolation because of pretty much CV-19 has just kind of has thrown has thrown my whole perception of like time and reality out of whack. So like I don't. So I think it's just this whole. So yeah, if it's late, it's probably because of that. Like everything's just been. This has just been a day for me where everything's been thrown out of whack lately. But with that said, let's just get into the review. As I said, Eden Zero Chapter 89. Okay, so first off, there's a lot to unpack in just that beginning chunk of the chapter alone. Because the first major thing to talk about is Noah's ominous warning about how if Draken Joe isn't stopped this time, he'll die and take Blue Garden with him. And on its face, that could be interpreted two ways. One, either Draken Joe would basically unleash an invasion force on Blue Garden and kill Noah for betraying him, or the other thing that Noah could essentially could be essentially like revealing to us is that his very existence as a character is tied to Blue Garden's like existence as a planet as well. And if he dies, then Blue Garden will pretty much be destroyed. Basically, what I'm saying is that it's kind of like an basically what I'm saying is that it's kind of like an ego situation from like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And if that's the if let's just say for argument's sake that that's the kind of situation that we're looking at, that Noah isn't even human and that he's some kind of like pretty much like celestial being or god or something who's basically the pretty much core of who's basically considered like the planet's like core given physical form. Uh, if that's and if that and again, if that is the case, then yeah, that means Noah isn't even human. He's some kind of god or celestial being. And I think the biggest thing to take away from that possibility in particular, is that it not only gives us a clue as to who or what mother is, but I think Mashima might have also just established that Noah has a direct link or connection with mother, which if that is in fact the case, and that Noah and the reason as to why Draken Joe has enlisted Noah's help in getting to Mother is because of that reason. Because if that is the case, then yeah, it would explain as to why Draken Joe and Noah ended up as partners to begin with, and that and that Noah himself probably has some kind of a like has some kind of a has some kind of connection with Mother, like they're both like celestial beings or something like that. But either way, I think this is a very huge. Either way, this is like I think like this. You could say that this is like our first major step in order to really like figuring out like what the mystery of who or what Mother is for sure. I think that's the one thing for sure in order to take away that we've taken just like I think a giant step towards like who exactly Mother is, and more than likely Noah's connection to Mother as well. Um, Now, the other thing obviously to talk about is that it's revealed Draken Joe is often called Undead Joe, and I don't have too much to say on that one I don't have too much to say on that one because to me I think that one I when it comes to like that whole when it comes to that what we see, I think what we hear from like what we heard from Noah about Dragon Joe being called Undead Joe, that to me is one of those things where I think I think considering I think one of the key things interesting to take away from that is that considering Joe's like fascination with alchemy, my best guess is that the containment unit we see him bathe in is possibly has similar effects to that of the Philosopher's Stone, in the sense where it extends his lifespan or grants him some form of invulnerability. That's pretty much my theory, because I don't think, because the thing is, because I don't think Mashima, for as bombastic as he gets with ideas, would go so far as actual immortality, especially since he's been pretty good with logical reasoning behind everything involving characters and story. So I think that's pretty much the same here, is that I don't think it's necessarily that Joe is immortal per se, but I think he has gained like some kind of invulnerability, whether it's not through like the kind of liquid he bathes in that containment chamber, or just in general, he's more than likely discovered like some like pretty much some way in order to gain that invulnerability, or that that invulnerability, or some means in order to extend his life, like something akin to like the whole like something that would in some way relate to the whole legend of the Philosopher's Stone, but not necessarily either in a way where it's like it's direct immortality, but something to just kind of akin to immortality, like a invulnerability, extended life, something like that. I think is what's going on with the whole undead Draken Joe kind of thing. Um, Having said that, one thing I do have to say is, fuck you, Mashima, for using the old lost or old lost like digital connection trope for hiding Dragon Joe's weakness from us. I mean, I get it in the sense of keeping the mystery going, but it feels like a cheap shot just to keep us reading. Like, really, Mashima? Yeah, you were doing you were getting so it was getting so good, and you cut it off. Like, damn it, Mashima, I wanted more. Why? I get it. I get it. You got to keep the mystery going, but it was getting so good. Why'd you cut it off, bro? Like, I'm sorry. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, damn it, I wanted more. But yeah, I guess I do gotta give him credit for. I guess I do gotta give him credit though, because it has kept me. Yes, with little things like that, it has kept me reading, so it works, I guess, in that sense. And with all that said, yeah, let's talk about, I guess, with all that said though, let's talk about I guess what's considered the basically title of the chapter, which is the fight between Hermit and Fee. Because I said it before, I'll say it again. Fee's biggest mistake was challenging Hermit to a sniping battle, simply by way of his arsenal being something she could just as easily hack into. But I basically knew that, basically going into this chapter, that knowing what we know of Hermit, that she would just wreck Fee completely. But oh my god, to see her use all his weapons against him was just it was overkill, but it was just such glorious overkill, like the kind of overkill you'd like to say, yes, I love it. Like, I loved seeing Hermit use all her knowledge of hacking and use it against him. It's like it was a perfect way in order to defeat Fee completely. It was a perfect way to defeat Fee, especially considering in some ways it's come up, and considering that Fee himself has also in some ways used a bit of hacking himself. So yeah. Of course, the more important thing is that moment where Hermit said that she purposefully gave the bullets an ether coating so they wouldn't like kill Fee, which is a small detail but still an important one, because with her life experiences, you'd almost expect that Hermit would have Hermit could have killed him just as easily killed him on the spot. But the fact that Hermit chose not to pretty much shows she's reached a turning point where she's not letting her experiences weigh her down, instead using them as a motivator in order to grow and become a better and stronger person, or I guess just more to the point, the person that pretty much Shiki saw in her the pretty much day they met, the one who was hiding under all the anger and resentment towards humanity. She's trying to return to basically that person, but in some ways also pretty much mature. She's doing her best to kind of return to that person that she was, but at the same time she's also taking her lesson she's learned thus far in order to mature as well. So yeah, it's good on that as well. And now all the with all the good stuff though, I do have to admit the one problem I do have is that the fight ended maybe a little too fast for me, but that's also something I've come to expect from basically Mashima's whole choreography and how he structures fights. So it's really just a small little nitpick on my part, but other than that, like the fight was just great. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Analyst, Crunchyroll. Dead Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.